Do you remember that time the Olympics was going to remove wrestling?
No.
Yeah, when it was on the chopping block of you, it was like 2 cycles ago. They were considering it for removal. It was like,
Oh,
are
you
you
know what?
kidding
Maybe
me?
I do.
It's like, are you fucking kidding? Like, you want to get rid of Olympic wrestling? You mean like the first sport?
Yeah.
It was like, hey, how fast can you run? Because if you can't run faster than me, how good can you fight? Like those are the
Right.
that's how it started.
Right.
They want to get rid of it. You kidding me? We should have a long discussion about the Olympics when it comes back around.
Oh, I'm
Because
so for it. I love the
yeah,
Olympics.
because I'm so. When is it? 24?
Yeah.
Where is it? LA? Where is it?
Paris,
LA's in
28.
28. Okay. Ooh,
Hmm.
Paris. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next year on the PNP. Olympics 2024.
All
When
Olympics all the time.
It's time for the Pretty Neat Podcast. It's time for the Pretty Neat Podcast.
Ryan, tell us about the Napa Rose. This part you can keep in, Aaron.
Napa Rose. It's the
Had you been there before?
third time going.
Okay. Carry on.
So yesterday, 15 years ago yesterday, I went on my first date with my now wife. So we went to Disneyland.
That was your
Like you,
first date?
yes. Not Disneyland, no.
Okay.
My first date, I have a scar on my body that will be there for the rest of my life
Whoa.
to commemorate the evening.
Hot.
Aaron was there.
Less hot.
Yeah. She bites hard, but she takes camera direction very well.
Wow.
And my wife, who is if nothing, meticulous in planning, 60 days prior, right, where you're able to book reservations at the earliest point. Made a reservation for Napa Rose to commemorate the time, right? So we went, and like I said, I had fully intended on showing you guys just the amazing meal that I had. But then after the main course came out, I lost my mind. I had a fantastic filet that had this ragu with
Beef cheek.
beef cheek that was divine. Not to mention the steak, perfect medium rare. We had this roasted asparagus. It had some capers and some additional lemon sauce with other accoutrements, which was fantastic. And then for dessert, we had 4 seasonal cheeses with house made chutneys. And then they came out with a little happy anniversary plate for us.
Awesome.
I sent you a picture of that one bourbon drink, Central Park West, which is fantastic. I had another bourbon based drink after that, which was not as good.
Which one?
The Bitter Storm,
Mm-hmm.
which I enjoyed.
Yeah, Fernet is weird. Fernet. How do you say that? That's like a different. I'm looking at the menu and that's what's in there. Anyway, keep going.
Wasn't as
Oh,
good.
it's like an Amaro. Okay.
Wasn't quite as good. But still, right? Happy to be there. Um, you know, coincidentally enough, our server, his name was Mickey, and I don't believe that's his original name
Okay.
because he's from Japan.
Okay.
He was a very, very kind gentleman. And he had asked if we were celebrating anything, and my wife said, "Yeah, celebrating 15 years of being together." And to which he replies, "What's the secret?" He's like, "I'm on my second marriage,
Yeah,
and
he
the first
is.
one only lasted 8 years." And
And this second one's not looking great either.
right, he's like, and things aren't looking so hot. No, he did not say that. That would have
Okay.
been inappropriate. Of course, pretty standard response. There's no secret. It's just good communication, right? And then you got to work on things all the time. But it was great. It was a great evening. I mean, I don't have too much more to add. Got home. My father-in-law was watching the dogs. We had to drive him home because he.
What'd you load up the fridge with for him?
So the preferred beer, right, is Carlsberg in the pints. So it comes in a pack of 12, and there were only 3 left. So he had 9 pints from the time whenever he started drinking. Not sure. Anyway, you've all met the Immortal. He's a very large individual, so he can definitely drink that amount, if not more. Hypothetically, right now, we're planning to go to Cancun in the beginning of November. So he would be staying the week to watch the dogs because my wife doesn't want to board them when we can just have our father-in-law come over and, I'll probably pay him a small sum to do so.
Give him a pallet.
Well, the thing was we're thinking, so for each day, have a case of Carlsberg, but then also when we celebrate Oktoberfest, we usually have 1 to 2 of those mini 5-liter little mini kegs. It's not really a mini keg, it's a 5-liter in the shape of a keg. So thinking about getting a few of those as well. So you just open the fridge and it's just 5-liter stacked upon 5-liter in cases of Carlsberg.
I'm
not sure what he would do. But that's future state. My mom is turning 60 this year, so she wanted to take a real vacation. So we're planning to go to Cancun for a week.
Nice.
And I have never been outside the country, so I'm in the middle of applying for my passport.
Nice.
You might find that you're on the no-fly list.
Well, I haven't officially bought the tickets yet, and I'm hoping that they are refundable in the event that my expedited application does not get overturned because of my notoriety.
They're like, no. We've heard the podcast. Absolutely not.
This guy, you're not going anywhere, son.
Magic happens.
Speaking of magic, I went to grad night last weekend.
Yes, please.
Yes.
You said it was amazing.
It was the single best work day I've ever had because I was being paid to be there. So honestly, like they had told me it's kind of a clusterfuck getting, 300 kids on 12 buses. And it really wasn't actually. The kids were pretty good at like lining up and kind of being where they were supposed to be. And so we get there and they pull us in to a employee parking lot, cast member parking lot off of Catella. It's the Toy Story parking lot just from the Catella entrance, which is cast member only.
Yeah.
A kid from like 3 buses in front of us gets out, bolts into the bathroom and comes back. Then we hear on the radio he was throwing up. So we pull out of there as a 12 bus caravan, and behind, they drive us basically right up behind Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's where they actually let us in, which was pretty fucking cool. And then so by that time, it's like, by the time we get through security and in, it's like 11 a.m. And they had told us like, hey, tell them they have to be in the California Adventure by 9. And, otherwise, if they reach out to you because they have a problem, help them. Otherwise, do as you will. And so I ended up with a group of like 5 other teachers, and we got Genie Plus, and then we had like a 5-minute Genie Plus wait for Guardians. So we rode that. Fucking awesome. Booked another one for like 20 minutes later. And I have actually reversed course on this. That might actually be the best ride in the entire two-part complex, much less just California Adventure. It is for sure the best ride at California Adventure.
For sure.
Every time I ride it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is fucking great. And it's not always because my 7-year-old does not love it. So we do that. We book one for Incredicoaster, and then it breaks down, and it is down for almost the whole day, but we're going to come back to that. Anyway, we end up proceeding. Some of those days where, Ryan, where you go and you see a line for Indiana Jones and it's an hour and you're loading and it's been 29 minutes. We
Yeah.
I
ran
remember
into
that.
like 6 of those in a row. It was fucking great. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, posted time 60 minutes, 23 minutes into the theater. I'm like, this is like, we literally didn't even stop. This is wonderful. Then we make our way back over in front of Toy Story Mania, Midway Mania, and I hear like thump smack. And I turn around, and there is a girl from a different high school flat on her back unconscious. One of the teachers I'm with is a grown adult, thank God, because she goes into full on like mom nurse mode and is like turning her on her side kind of after she realizes she's going to start to throw up and talking to her. And then I'm like, hey, they were wearing their high school shirts. It's actually not it's a school that's not too far from here. So I go, hey, one of you needs to get in touch with your chaperone now. So they do. One of the teachers I'm with flags down security. My coworker's like, hey, did she take something? And she meant, some sort of drug. And they're saying no. And I look at her friend and I go, don't lie. She's in real trouble. Did she or did she not take something? She's in health trouble. You're not going to be in trouble. Tell us the truth. They swore up and down no. Disney handles that sort of thing really quick. So that was, I hope she's okay. We didn't end up actually seeing her after that. Then I learned an important lesson. Do you want to know what that lesson was?
Absolutely.
When I said to my whole group, I am positive I can beat all of you at Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. The way that my coworker, whose name we're not going to say, the way her head looked at the way her head like snapped around should have been my cue to be like, oh no, I can't beat her. Because she's like us. She goes all the time with her kids. And they're little, and that's one of the only things they like to ride. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I probably, and she goes, okay, let's get in line. And I'm like,
oh shit.
I'm like, but here's the thing: we're supposed to single rider Hyperspace Mountain. She's like, no, get in the fucking line. So we get in the line, and well, she goes north of 900,000, and I can't do that. So, and we get off and I go, okay, what's the secret? Like, what's the point multiplier or something? She goes, the secret is aim good. And then she kept walking. Like, all right. So, she got coffee on me Monday morning. That was all fine and good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not as good at that and I had a bad round. Like I've done better than I did that time. Then we make our way over to the lock-in, and that was also a really good time. And the kids really only want to. So Spider-Man was down for a chunk of the night, but they really only want to ride Incredicoaster and Guardians. So there's like no line for anything else. They did have a little teachers area set up, but like it was pretty crowded, which I wasn't into, and our group was kind of moving. So I did have to solve like 6 or 7. It ended up being that Disney thought I was the head chaperone because my name was first on the call list, and so I ended up having to like intervene with legitimately like 5 pretty ridiculous student situations, but no big deal. And then we get in line for Incredicoaster, and it's posted like 80 minutes, and the line is all the way back to where the little snow cone like soft serve stand is.
Oh yeah, where the abominable Yeah, okay.
It was probably 34 minutes. That ride loads really quick, but it dawned on me as I was watching the kids get on and off, and I looked at one of the other teachers I'm with, and I'm like, this makes sense that this is moving so fast because these kids have spent their whole lives being told, go stand in line there, go stand in line there, now sit here, now get up, now move. Like they follow instructions pretty well. They're kind of used to that. So they get on the ride, they sit down, they buckle themselves in, then the car takes off, the next group gets off, and that's a quick process. And she goes, yeah, and their butts fit in the seats. And I was like, that is also true. There's no giant woman that needs to be sort of pried out of there with the jaws of life. So she didn't ride up on a rascal and yell at the poor Disney cast member who was just doing her job.
The more unfortunate circumstance where she's in line, he or she is in line, they go to get in the seat and they cannot, and then they're told that they have to exit the line, and there's either the inevitable walk of shame, which that happens,
It does.
And sometimes that's preceded with some type of argument as well.
Almost always.
I'll
Which
never
is-
forget. I'll never forget going to Disneyland with my wife and seeing a morbidly obese guy literally double fisting churros in each hand, steering
yeah.
his scooter and going off a curb in front of the castle by the Walt Disney and Mickey statues, and him just being like, "These things are hard to steer, honey." He literally had no hand on the handles because he was holding churros.
Like, hey man, they made a movie about you. Pretty soon you're gonna have to move to space. And then
that's a nice Wally reference.
It
Thank
is.
you.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Yeah, let me introduce you to Otto and Life on the Axiom. By and large is your friend. A is for Axiom, B is for by and large. And then like 2 a.m. they shuttle all the kids back over to the Toy Story lot, and then of course I'm like at the bus checking kids in as they come in, and that guy went down really hard.
Dude, did you see that guy? He was 467 pounds.
That's a lot of man hitting the ground, and he is out.
Yeah. The Power Slap had to bring in winners from World's Strongest Man competitions to catch him. Forrest Griffin can't catch that shit.
Did they actually do that?
Yeah, they did.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh my God, this guy.
I just don't get it. I just don't see how it's worth it.
I don't either.
And then I'm standing at the bus, like checking kids in so that we know that they're coming back. And the bus driver goes, "Well, the 91's closed." I'm like,
oh God.
I'm like, "No, it's not." And he goes, "Oh yeah." Like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So we end up leaving there just after 3, and I got home at like 5. So it was like a full 24-hour day.
Oh man.
So did you guys end up taking the 57 over to...
We took the 57 to the 60 to the 71 to the little bit of the 91 to the 15.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys just relived the SNL skit.
Yeah.
Just
the Californians. We are the Californians.
Right.
Yeah. One of you is Bill. One of you is Bill.
We're going to go
right
57 north to the 60 west.
But then the next one is south for some reason, even though we just went north
south.
for 40 miles.
Oh,
yeah. But it was a good time. I would do it again.
Nice.
And I think the only downside, right, is, well, maybe 2 downsides, but it's a really long day.
It's a long day.
And then if you happen to be first on the call list, you get to face all of the challenges because you are that type of individual that when the call comes in, you answer.
I do. And I ran across our ASB director and I told her, and she goes, "Oh, they do?" And I'm like, you fucking knew. You just put my name first because I never done this before, and I'm not going to complain. But it's all good because there'll be experiences I talk about in interviews going forward.
Beauty. Hey, aside from our lives, there was also some sport things that happened.
Like there were quite a lot of sports things that happened, come to think of it. One that you're depicting on the screen here, I don't know if we want to talk about it.
Now we can talk about it.
The NBA, the hoops.
Yeah, so the Denver Nuggets are going to be the Western Conference representatives in the NBA Finals after sweeping the Los Angeles Lakers in the conference finals. Started off with just an amazing game 1. I mean, the entire series was great by Jokic, but in game 1 with that triple-double was amazing. The Lakers then tried to shift defensively. Rui in game 2 looked pretty good in some of his defensive adjustments on him.
Mm-hmm.
But then they couldn't stop Jamal Murray. Specifically, the fourth quarter collapses were what really did them in 3 of those games.
The Lakers had double-digit leads in at least 2 of the games.
Yes.
Which a 10-point lead in the NBA is like the equivalent of like a 3-point lead now. But even still, they got swept, but they're not the same way that like Boston is losing.
Speaking of sweeps, the Florida Panthers are now going to the Stanley Cup Finals after beating Carolina Hurricanes.
I'm happy for you as a lifelong Florida Panthers fan.
Thank you.
You have earned the right to watch them lose to my Vegas Golden Knights, who are likely to sweep Dallas tomorrow.
That's one of the statements you just made is very likely. The fact that they're going to sweep Dallas, I think Dallas is still, even though they have some experience, they're still a very young team. And the Knights, they're good. I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
But the best player in the playoffs right now is Matthew Tkachuk, who plays for the Panthers. In this series that they just won in 4 games, he had 2 overtime winners. So their ability to grit games out is a real X factor, specifically in the NHL. Game 2 went like 6 overtimes. Think about that. 6 full periods.
It says game 1 went 4 overtimes on ESPN. Game 2 went 1.
Okay, so I'm definitely wrong. And if I even amended that statement, I'd still be wrong. So 7 total periods in game 1, 4 overtimes.
That's a lot of hockey.
Yeah, it's 140 minutes of gameplay, but obviously with breaks in the action and the amount of time that you're actually on the ice, that's a shitload of hockey.
Matthew Tkachuk is from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Curious. I don't know this for a fact, but there was a Kings defenseman whose last name was Tkachuk. Now that may just be a more common surname for people of European descent, but I'm curious if he was that guy's son.
Let's find out. That would explain being born in Arizona. Yes, his father Keith Tkachuk played 1,200 games in the NHL, and he's a Hall of Famer. And his brother plays for the Senators.
Yeah, see that.
Hockey is weird.
Hockey is it's one of the most ultimate tests of coordination.
Yeah. So some would say, oh, he and I have the same birthday, Matthew Tkachuk. Nice. Not the same year.
Wonderful.
Now, let's talk about John Morant.
Yeah, let's talk about John Morant. I'm glad
I'm
glad he's still alive.
This story is being undercovered, I think. And if he played for the Knicks or the Lakers or the Celtics or like a big market team, this would be like front page. And you guys know where we haven't been in a while?
I don't think we've gone to the Dom Dome in some time.
I'm sorry, sir. You mean the Sanctum of Truth?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we rebranded. I forgot.
I need the drop. That is the Sanctum of Truth indeed.
Sanctum of Truth.
How did you get Stephen Hawking?
Well, he's
like Eastern European Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after he retired from the world of ventriloquism, he was pretty easy to get,
Okay. So Demetrius Jamel Ja Morant. What are you, fucking Albus Percival Wolfric Brian Dumbledore?
Brian.
The fuck out of here. I love that Brian is in there. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Aaron, Ja Morant is the player from the Grizzlies that likes strip clubs, which would be fine, except that he also likes to hold guns up at strip clubs.
Yeah,
That is a little more frowned upon.
mostly.
Yeah. He got suspended for 8 games. He spent a couple days in like a rehab thing, where he learned to be more smarter, I believe, with the words.
Yes, that is a direct quote.
Yes, he learned to be more smarter with his decision making. The problem is they have covered up other stuff for him. So his best friend Devontae is not allowed at Grizzlies games or any NBA game because he is accused, and they believe that he had like a gun with one of those red laser pointers on
Laser pointer, correct.
pointed at the Indiana Pacers traveling bus. I'm just reading Nike's statement from March. Anyway, so he's not allowed to be there. Ja's dad is like the guy that's always kind of all over other players and blah blah blah. So then this very same guy on May 14th, Devontae Pat, goes live on Instagram because that's what 23-year-olds do. And Ja Morant is riding in the front seat next to him, and he's like flashing his gun around. And it's like, all right, we got a real problem here. Ja Morant has a 5-year contract with $193 million in guaranteed money that goes to 231 if he makes an All-NBA team. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal did a really good job just recently of breaking this down. So it was March 14th that Ja Morant, literally exactly 2 months later after leaving that counseling program, he's back on Instagram Live. Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley did a really good job on TNT of breaking down like the financial responsibility that Ja Morant has. It's not just that contract. There's so much money, literally billions of dollars of economic sort of not surplus, but like economic impact that he has. And the two of them talked about like, you have to understand that responsibility as a player. And honestly, it makes guys like LeBron James, even Kevin Durant, really Steph Curry, so many of these other guys that much more impressive because you never hear negative anything about them because they understand how much is tied up in their ability to play a game. So Ja Morant does it again, and I think the league is going to go nuclear on him. I think he's probably going to get
half a year.
No, I think a full year.
You think so?
I do. I think Adam Silver took a team from an owner. He took the guy who pays all the bills, bought the team however many decades ago, just took him. Can't have him anymore. So yeah, I think a full year. And I think in March, I said if I was the Lakers, I would still trade damn near everything for Ja Morant, and I would no longer do that.
Wise.
Nike, I believe, has started to back off of their partnership with him. It's just a fucking mess. Ryan, what do you think?
I don't disagree with anything you said. He is displaying a level of immaturity and prioritizing things, right? Potentially that for him, when he was a teen or a much younger adolescent, like that was how he wanted to represent himself.
Yeah.
He wanted to be hard, right? He wanted to be seen as like somebody you don't fuck with, as opposed to somebody that is now, we could debate his overall talent. He's a very explosive, high profile player. He's the face of a franchise. And he still doesn't understand that responsibility as evidenced by having a gun associated with somebody that is no longer allowed into the arena because of alleged interactions and confrontations that happened with their teams. I think it was the Indiana Pacers, right? And beyond that, like for this one continued lapse of judgment could result in how many hundreds of millions of dollars that he could potentially be forfeiting for his future, for his family's future.
Many
And
hundreds of millions.
we're here in hindsight, picking this apart, and I'm not here to say that we're perfect. We've definitely made many mistakes in our use. I just went into great detail into one 15 years ago, right? It may not be on that level, right? I'm not holding a weapon for people to see, but also at the time, people were not streaming their entire lives on social media.
Yeah.
So it's a different expectation for how we interact with the outside world. It's and to your point about LeBron and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, they may be out there doing some shenanigans, but they're probably far better at covering up. I mean, I don't think they're out there flashing, hand weapons or assault rifles.
No.
They're not doing anything like that. It's just a different level of awareness to the impact that they have on the rest of the world. Like even Charles Barkley, right? We think about Charles Barkley. If you don't know about Charles Barkley, he used to say when he was a player, like, I am not a role model. Well, he's got to have to walk that back, because whether or not he thinks or doesn't think he's a role model, what he says, what he does has an impact on the people that look up to him and admire him for playing a sport better than 99% of the rest of the population. So just if you continue to surround yourself with those people and have that type of influence, it could just escalate. And then we saw recently, right, he lives in Memphis or Nashville. The police did a welfare check because he had these cryptic tweets that were then deleted, basically saying, like, to my father and my daughter, I love you. And then it was just like, bye. Yeah. So they did a welfare check. He's okay, or at least he's not harming himself. But this is a real concern. And on top of the suspension, he needs to do some real reflection on what he wants to do with his enormous amount of talent.
And it is an almost insurmountable amount of talent, and he will continue to get chances because of it. Here's where the Dom comes in, and far be it from me to make light of anything that he was sort of hinting at. This is a guy, so we didn't talk about it. His statement last week appears to have been written by ChatGPT. Do you know about that?
No, I didn't hear that it was.
Yeah, so it seems that ChatGPT is responsible for his, like, I need to learn to take responsibility for my actions or whatever, like his most recent statement about it. Part of me can't help but wonder, and again, if the stuff today, the Twitter stuff today, was some sort of PR person with the Grizzlies or with Nike or the NBA or all three, and they're like, hey, we're going to go ahead and try to spin this in a different way and try to get you some sympathy.
Damn. So feign some type of like depressive state.
Yes.
To get the sympathy or the empathy of the public.
Yep.
In an effort to what? Reduce his potential suspension or change the narrative?
Just change the narrative, yeah.
I mean, thinking about that kind of makes me fucking sick.
Well, think about the what the NFL did with Aaron Hernandez. They're like, oh, well, a doctor said he had the most CTE he'd ever seen, so that excuses the execution style murders. Like, no, it doesn't. You know what I mean? He knew it was wrong because he didn't tell anyone he was doing it. So,
to your point, everybody's going to have somewhat of a different take and a perspective on it. I, for one, if we're talking about Aaron Hernandez, Anthony Hernandez is a fighter who just won via TKO last week. Aaron Hernandez, Fluffy, yeah, great nickname. Aaron Hernandez, I viewed as just somebody who kept a life from everyone else, right, from the public eye. That was,
yeah, I agree.
That's who he really was.
But the NFL has also said, if I'm not mistaken, something along the lines of there's no evidence that playing in the NFL puts you at a risk for a concussion or something. So it was something almost that egregious. So,
which is just
absurd,
wild when you take that out of context. And you're like, excuse me. I mean, we have documentaries. We have a dramatized documentary starring Will Smith about playing NFL and CTE and concussions just based on repetitive physical collisions with massive bodies at a high velocity. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Speaking of football, I know you're not a 49ers fan, but
no.
Two things really. One's a Rams thing.
Okay.
So the somewhat experimental surgery that Brock Purdy is going under, which is not a typical Tommy John surgery to repair his UCL ligament, which is going to have some type of internal bracing, which, from what I understand, they weren't going to be able to 100% determine whether or not they could do that without first opening up his elbow and seeing the extent of the damage.
Okay.
So they did that. And now with just physical therapy and what they can do for people, there is a chance that he's able to make it back by the end of preseason, hypothetically, which is wild.
What are you asking me?
Do you think that gives no, I'm not asking you anything. I didn't know if you had heard about it. I thought it was interesting. It is
interesting. I agree. And certainly the implication for pitchers could be really interesting. It reminds me kind of what they're doing with ACLs and MCLs now, where it's like, yeah, you'll be out 3 or 4 days and you'll be back. Yeah. I really, and this could be among the dumbest things I've ever said. I want to preface this, but I've said it before. I love that the 49ers and their fans are talking themselves into Brock Purdy. I love it.
Oh, because he's not a proven commodity, and you think
no, because it's not a real thing. The sort of advanced metrics to him as the playoffs went on, and really as his 8-game regular season went on, are not flattering. He was on a very, very good team that is very well designed offensively with an outstanding defense. It was as much as it was, you know what it was? It was Trent Dilfer on the 01 Ravens or whatever year they won the Super Bowl. Just a guy who can manage. He didn't throw a touchdown for 2 consecutive playoff games or something. I'm sorry, Patrick Mahomes is in this league. Let's stop talking about him like he's Patrick Mahomes. It makes me fucking sick. But I love that the 49ers are talking themselves into it, because the Rams are getting a healthy Matt Stafford and back-to-back championship winner Stetson Bennett. So,
who they drafted in the 7th round?
Yeah, the Stetson Bennett era is upon us, sir.
All right, well, I'm here for the Stetson Bennett era. The second point that I wanted to make was that
I'm being mostly sarcastic.
Yes, I know.
The 49ers fans that listen to this are like, fucking Stetson Bennett, no way.
There is a level of optimism though within that statement that you made that can only be attributed to just the nature of your fandom.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I
No, no,
can't
no, no,
wait.
no, no, no. That wasn't meant as a dig. I'm just saying, like, hey,
Yeah.
you're going to overestimate how competitive they can be
I'm sorry. The
based on
last
the
time this team
level
was
of your
fully healthy, they won the Super Bowl.
based on the level of your fandom. I'm here talking to you over Zoom wearing my Los Angeles Chargers hat,
Yeah.
who I feel like have an outside chance to win the Super Bowl this year. Anyway, speaking of the Rams, who cohabitate with the Chargers.
No. The Chargers are their tenants. Go on.
Okay, that is also
Which owner
pretty,
paid cash for that palace?
not the Chargers.
That's right.
Not the Chargers owner, that's for sure. The Rams.
Yeah.
So Sean McVay basically expressed some level of optimism.
My prince.
My sweet prince.
Level
Level
sweet,
of optimism
beautiful Sean.
for the level of competition at the team in voluntary mini camps.
Yeah.
With the level of turnover, which I'm going to tell you something.
Hey, Super Bowls are won in May, buddy. Super Bowls are won in May. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something, and
all right.
I want you to feel flattered, however you want to feel.
All right.
How about that? On ESPN, there's an app, right? By the way, the theme song for the ESPN app, ESPN Plus app, ESPN Plus, it's in the app. Everything you want right here, no cap, right? That's how the song goes. It's fantastic.
What
it
are
gets
you
stuck
talking
in your,
about?
It gets stuck in your head.
My phone, I never have the volume up on my phone.
No, the ESPN Plus app. Sorry.
There's
I was
there's an ESPN Plus app or just ESPN Plus within the app?
ESPN Plus is within the app itself,
Yeah.
but it was a commercial that was playing, I think, in between
on ESPN Plus for ESPN Plus.
Of course, yes. ESPN Plus, it's in the app. Everything you want right here, no cap.
Okay, I feel like maybe I have heard that.
You probably have heard that. So, what was my original point? Okay, my point was talking about the Rams. I changed my preferences on my ESPN app to include Rams.
Hey,
for scores and news, so that I could be more prepared to talk to you about these things, because I find that our conversation on the matter to be very fulfilling.
I am weirdly touched by that.
I mean,
now,
I didn't
you'd
say
like,
as you should be.
now,
No. I'm not there. I'm not here to fish for some type of equal response. I'm not looking.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I think you have no idea where I was going to
go. Okay.
Because I know you're not ever going to be a Rams fan. In a weird way, I don't want you to be.
No.
It's better that you're a Charger fan. I like that you're a Kings fan. I think that's a fun thing. We're both Laker fans. That's cool. There is room on another bus that I am on.
Oh, the Angels?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you, in addition to adding the Rams onto my feed for teams,
all I'm saying is you are well conditioned to having your heart ripped out and stomped on.
I am very much.
That's what the Angels do.
Akin to that feeling. I also added the Angels to my local team feed.
Look at you. You don't really have a baseball allegiance, do you?
So I like the Red Sox. However, I'm not. Yeah, I like the Red Sox.
Oh my God. Okay.
So it's strange, but no more Garcia Parra. I really like the way he played baseball.
Yeah, he was also a Dodger, so you could just go with that.
Later in life, but I mean his best years were as a Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
literally couldn't be on a roster today with the way that the pitch clock works, but keep going.
Well, I mean, you could say that about a lot of people, right?
No, there's literally everybody's figured it out except apparently Juan Soto.
Yeah. Man, good God, the Padres. Could they?
They're gonna figure it out. There's too much talent. Over 162, there's too much talent.
It's dismaying. They're playing sub 500 baseball right now.
It is a little bit strange. I'll give you that. And honestly, like secretly right now, Major League Baseball is really, really interesting.
It is.
There's a lot of interesting shit going on.
There's a lot of parity, which it used to be just the Red Sox and the Yankees for a time for the amount of money they could just spend.
Except for the Oakland A's, who are 10-40.
Hey, they've reached a preliminary deal to relocate to Vegas. Are they going to
wait?
Are they going to stay the
weekend there?
Are they going to keep the name of the Athletics? Or are they going to be the Las Vegas Athletics? Or are they going to change the name?
So we ran through this like 2 weeks ago, and then in fact, when I was listening back, they have a negative 178 run differential. If you were interested. That's not good for those of you keeping score.
Hey guys, that's not good.
That's bad. And Tampa is 36-15. Good Lord.
So good.
Anyway, although their run differential is actually only plus 111, which is just second highest. The American League right now
Vegas
is much
alcoholics and not loves the A's.
No, I mean that just hits a little too close to home. So
You think so?
I do.
Damn.
I don't know. There was a point we were talking about when we were talking about teams relocating and changing names, and there was one I wanted to bring up. And I now can't remember what it was, but when I was listening back, I was thinking, oh, why aren't you fucking saying that, you idiot? Anyway, I don't know what they'll do. I'd imagine they'll change their name.
I thought so as well, because the color scheme and the name just doesn't really befit Las Vegas.
No, and I really don't have any suggestions.
I think Aaron could probably think of some names right off the dome. He already thought of one.
Team are they the 51s?
Like Area 51s?
Yeah, I think so. They're the Las Vegas Aviators now. I'm pretty sure they used to be the 51s.
I think they should be like the Oasis or something.
That's a AAA team. The Las Vegas Oasis?
I like it.
Yeah. Or the Lights or something like that. Neon.
Las Vegas Lights
isn't that a WNBA team? Aren't they the Las Vegas Lights?
They're the Aces. Okay, so the Las Vegas Aviators.
I didn't go there. I knew that from a previous episode of the show.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
That is.
Okay, so here are some options. There were the Las Vegas Stars.
Okay.
That was the AAA team. Then they became the Las Vegas 51s, and they were all like extraterrestrial themed.
Stupid.
And then they're now the Aviators, and they actually are the Oakland A's team. AAA team. So, and their ballpark is up in Summerlin, kind of by the mall there. It's actually pretty cool. And the A's don't draw any fans, so they could probably just play there. I wonder if they'd steal one of those names and go back to being the Stars.
It'd be the Las Vegas Hit Me's.
And there's the Dallas Stars, so there's that. It could be the Las Vegas. What's another gambling? The Las Vegas Sevens?
Hey, you could be the Gamblers.
The
Gamblers? Sevens would be good.
Or the Vegas
Blackjacks?
That could work.
Yeah, that could
the
work.
Las Vegas Jacks, that could work.
Yeah, just Jacks. Jokers would be good.
Las Vegas Jokers. The Las Vegas
Jokers?
Wild.
Ooh,
the Minnesota Wild, right? That's the hockey team, but isn't like Aces are wild.
No, I like that.
The Las Vegas Hookers.
The Las Vegas.
The Las Vegas Slots.
The Las Vegas Strips.
The Strippers.
Yes.
They could be the Strats. There's all kinds of cool names they could be.
I tried out for the Las Vegas Strippers, but only got to second base.
Damn.
I don't
sucks.
get that joke. The Las Vegas Boulevards.
Wow.
The Boulevards?
I'm just throwing stuff at the wall.
Yeah. Nightlife.
I feel like we hit on one.
Ooh, you could call them
one.
You could call them the Chippers, because that's like chips and chipping.
Chips?
Chippers. Clippers, chippers.
The Las Vegas Nuts, like in a poker term. I have
Oh,
the Las
There
Vegas
is a
Nuts.
Modesto Nuts minor league team.
well,
I believe
shit.
they belong to the Seattle Mariners. I have like a weird amount of minor league baseball knowledge,
Well, I mean, it's not weird if you really like baseball.
and they're fun games to go to. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, minor league baseball is fun. Speaking of
Oh, the Colorado Rockies.
Colorado Rockies, speaking of, you go to a Lake Elsinore Storm and get a box for like $100-something. Like, and you just bring all your friends and hang out in a box, right?
No, I'm sorry. They are the Mariners. They used to be the Rockies. You could also go on a Thursday and for $30, no free shout outs, get unlimited alcohol, and they fucking mean it. And don't worry, it's all bottom shelf.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be Thirsty Thursdays. It was $1 beer.
Yeah, it's not anymore. It's $30 open bar.
That's
Which to me, I feel like is actually a better deal.
It is a better deal.
How many times am I going to run my card for $1.17? No, I'm going to pay you the $30. You're going to give me the wristband, and I'm just going to go bar to bar along this concourse and watch this minor league guy throw 93. It's good times.
It really is.
The Pretty Neat podcast live from Thirsty Thursday.
We should. I mean, I get somewhat nostalgic when I go and watch like minor league baseball games.
Me too.
We used to go there when, major league players were on like rehab assignments.
Absolutely.
It's just the fun thing to do.
I've caught many a major league player on a rehab assignment there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can pay $9 and sit right behind home plate. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are they doing it this year? I'm looking.
Were y'all going around the time when Joe Urso was like the big?
Yeah,
player?
Still Power Man 5000 is going to be there.
Oh my god!
This is what it looks like when worlds collide, or this is what it sounds like. That's what the line is. Are you ready to go? 'Cause I'm ready to go. What you gonna do, baby?
They also have a cool.
Yeah, that's not Dragula, which a lot of people think it is.
Oh, you know what?
Singer, did you know that the singer from Power Man 5000 is Rob Zombie's brother?
Yeah.
That's not who's Dan the Automator? What's he from?
Dan the Automator.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's definitely Rob Zombie's brother.
He's Dan the Automator says
Dave Zombie.
Dave
what
Zombie.
What is his musical project?
It says American record producer. Gorillas.
He's from the Gorillas?
That's what it says.
No way. Nobody even knows who the Gorillas are.
I mean, you do. I clearly do.
But nobody knows who the Gorillas. Remember when it was like the cool thing to be like, oh, I like the Gorillas. Like, shut the fuck up. The Gorillas are cool though. That's not what I'm thinking of. There was a.
Yeah, he was the principal producer for the Gorillas. Phase 1.
He's not anymore. It looks like maybe just that first album.
Just that first album, yeah. He's better known as just a record producer.
Yeah, there is Deltron 3030. Is that what I'm thinking of? Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Yeah, and DJ. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That is, God, talk about deep cuts. Aaron?
Yeah, that's he's from the Gorillas. Yeah.
The Gorillas, a band that's not real.
Wait, they're
They
real.
are.
Except they're not a band.
When they perform, they just put up a screen and would be animated. They never showed themselves.
They still don't,
right?
Strange.
No, they still don't.
Well, Speaking it's also because like they just produce the music. They're not like a band that rehearses together. They don't like practice. It's a project.
Well, I don't think they would go on tour and they would perform, but they're not going out there and performing. They're like behind stage, which I guess if that's your shtick, it's a lot less pressure. But speaking of bands that are animated, Death Clock going on tour, Baby Metal. It's called the Baby Clock Tour, and Death Clock or Metalocalypse is the show, which was on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
back when we were much younger. It's coming back this fall to do the final season and wrap up the entire story. I'm
Okay.
It's weird.
I'm
That
excited.
stuff
Okay,
is coming
so they
back so
don't call
long.
it Thirsty Thursday anymore. It's Thursday Bites, and you get 2 free food items from local vendors, and for $30 you can get your all-you-can-drink wristband. I'm just
Wild.
saying, we should
There
do
you
it.
go. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
they
but-
have a cool logo.
We've like barely touched any of the fights. There's no fights
Well,
this
Aaron,
weekend, so
Some
there's
would
like
say
not.
there's a reason for that.
Yeah, that's very true. Like this past weekend was Dern versus Hill as the headliner.
And
the main
the week
event.
before that was a little slow too.
Yeah, and this coming weekend, there's no UFC, so it's like it's mostly pretty neat stuff today. Less UFC, mostly pretty neat.
Well, Ryan, we finally got the big fight we've all wanted. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, go.
Oh God. So number 1 pound for pound versus number 4 ESPN ranks into July, which is something. I mean, if you think about it in the context, it's 2 months away, 2 months and 5 days away. This definitely had to be ongoing for like maybe the last month, 45 days, for them just to announce that this fight is done and they're going to be fighting, and this soon.
Yeah.
Correct. So I'm excited. I mean, I don't know which way I'm leaning.
Me either.
So I read a initial preview on the matter. So Bud Crawford's definitely the more technical of the fighters. His ability to switch stances between conventional and southpaw and just put combinations on people is unrivaled for somebody of that size fighting at that weight. However, Errol is the true welterweight type fighter. He's going to be bigger. He has a very slight reach disadvantage, but he has more punching power just from what I've read, and he's more defensively sound. So
Is
you
there
put
a
all that
line on this?
Let's look. Terrence.
And it's a 2-fight deal.
Yes. So that's the biggest thing, is that whoever loses within 30 days can enact the rematch clause, and they will fight again, most likely at the end of the year.
Yep.
So right now, Terrence Crawford, according to the New York Post, is a -1. Well, they're both a -112.
Oh, okay.
Okay, interesting.
So that means Vegas is like, well, we don't know.
Okay, never mind. So Box Live has Crawford as a -130 and Errol as a +110.
Okay.
So it's as close as you can get in a boxing match.
Yeah.
Plus, with these two guys, both still in their prime, both coming off of TKO wins in their last fight, that are now going to face off against each other, and we're most likely going to get to see them fight at least twice. That's fantastic. I'm here for it. The last big boxing match where I had people over was Connor Floyd, and I mean I'm tempted really to do the same for this, because it's just going to be an excellent affair.
Yeah. It really is. It's going to be a good fight.
There was
Aaron,
another.
boxing is a sport that's like UFC, but they can't kick.
That's fucking stupid.
Yes.
I mean, technically, yeah, it utilizes less of their weapons.
That sounds like boxing just sounds like somebody who like showed up to the actual fights. Like if there were fight sporting events back hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and they were like, that's not fair. No feet. Like some bitch made that up.
Okay.
Like, I'm just kidding. It actually, I could see it being very valuable not being able to use your legs.
Well, they have to use their legs, just not for kicking.
Yes.
Yep. It's all for like footwork, foot placement.
Do you remember that time the Olympics was going to remove wrestling?
No.
Yeah, when it was on the chopping block of you, it was like 2 cycles ago. They were considering it for removal. It was
Oh,
like,
you know what?
kidding
Maybe
me?
I do.
It's like, are you fucking kidding? Like, you want to get rid of Olympic wrestling? You mean like the first sport?
Yeah.
It was like, hey, how fast can you run? Because if you can't run faster than me, how good can you fight? Like those are the
Right.
that's how it started.
Right.
They wanted to get rid of it. You kidding me? We should have a long discussion about the Olympics when it comes back around.
Oh, I'm so for it. I love
Yeah?
the Olympics.
Because I'm so. When is it? 24?
Yeah.
Where is it? LA? Where is
Paris,
it? LA's in
28.
28. Okay.
Mhm.
Paris. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next year on the PNP. Olympics 2024.
All
When-
Olympics all the time.
Yeah. There were other hands meeting faces at the UFC fight night. Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill. But like nothing of consequence. Like it was cool to see Chase the Dream Hooper get in the win column.
Why?
It was just nice to see him not lose. Like,
Okay.
and he didn't try and go to the ground every 5 seconds. He's still lets himself get fucking hit way too much.
Way
And
too much.
he's-
Yeah, it's
he's-
weird. He's only 23.
Yeah. And there was a time, this is the first fight since he started where he's looked better than previous fights. Like other
Well, at
fights,
least he's in a
looked worse
division
at
that's not
first.
that competitive.
Yeah, only lightweight.
Yeah.
Like he went to a
Let's
he went
climb
from
the ladder.
featherweight to
with-
lightweight.
We're gonna climb
Yeah,
the
let's climb the
ladder.
ladder with Chase Hooper. Okay, we're done. It's
Okay,
no one.
number 15. Okay, he's out in the first round. I will say Natalia Silva at flyweight is scary.
She was
Um,
as advertised. She was the
No, she's
biggest
not.
favorite on the card.
Yep, and a first round KO in women's flyweight. Not that common. Just
Yeah, her opponent, Leonardo, was so outmatched.
She
So
tried.
outmatched.
She tried.
Don't be called Victoria Leonardo. I don't like that.
Yeah, are you not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan?
I believe it or not, I'm really not actually.
Let's
Okay.
see. That surprises me, actually.
Does it?
Well, that's just because you're most like Raphael, so never mind.
He's totally
Hey.
Raphael.
Totally Raphael. You're Leonardo, by the way, Ryan, if you didn't know.
That's who I wanted to be growing up. You were
You would
definitely
be.
Michelangelo.
Yeah, I'm Michelangelo through and
Yeah.
through. Give me pizza and
Are
some
you?
forks. I'm good. Nunchucks, I'm down. But we don't
Raphael
have
has the daggers, yeah.
He has
Yes.
the ninja size.
yes. He's also the most independent one. Definitely greatness there. Who am I
I like
missing?
April.
Donatello? We don't have a Donatello.
Nope.
So yeah, Donatello, he's a genius, but also
He's putts though too. Like,
Bow staff.
bow staff.
is that it?
But also Ray, who is a girl, has a bow staff. So
What?
that's a Star Wars joke.
Ray Palpatine.
Ray Palpatine, Ivan Skywalker.
Oh my gosh.
Ray Palpatine with the bow staff.
Rematch. Power slap. It's finale right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this dude who has plugs? Did he just put paper towels in the plugs?
Oh, it's all taped up. It's like he pinched them together and taped it.
I feel like they should just wear AirPods at this point. Like
Yeah.
that seems like something they'd do.
So this guy who's lining up right now, we'll take a
Does
brief
that look like
aside.
tape to you, Aaron?
Who's
That looks
getting
like
slapped
paper towel.
first? Okay, got
Oh,
it.
Hawaiian.
hints. This
The
should
Hawaiian.
be yeah.
I
This
was
should
gonna
be
say
a
black or
knockout.
blue. Which are the color of their shirts?
He's Hawaiian.
The color of their
Blue.
shirts.
He
Ooh,
flinched.
he said, "Let's fucking go."
Well, that guy Rivero, who just got slapped from Hawaii, got
from
knocked
Hawaii.
out.
Now
He
lives
got
in
knocked
Texas.
out by this guy in the first round in the show. on the house.
Yes.
We got slapped and knocked the fuck out in the first round. And then he dropped the steroids. Looks like he lost like 30 or 40 pounds, and now he can move. So he can.
No, they're because this is at
This
light
is-
heavyweight.
Aaron,
light
why do you
heavyweight.
still use Firefox?
Am I?
Well, you have it.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
because it has the easiest like extensions for like.
Porn.
Yes, that's it. I was gonna say saving audio and video files.
Is he going down? I think he is. Oh shit.
Hintz is tough, man. He's the light heavyweight champ right now. But this
Okay.
is, of course, slap 2.
This slap too.
Revenge of the slap.
Yeah, he is
Foul.
going.
There was a foul.
Oh man, clubbing Rivero. That means he
Clubbing.
didn't hit the cheek, or he
While
hit
we commentate through this, I am going to buy a new laptop. How do you guys feel about that?
Can I have one too?
No.
Oh yeah, man, he missed the face. He hit him right on the
he
neck.
did. That would still hurt like a motherfucker, though.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
should.
it's a foul.
You should get a laptop.
I have
Awesome.
one. I'm gonna buy a new one.
Yeah, you should get a new one.
What are you looking
Ask
at?
me what's wrong with the one I currently have.
What is wrong with your current laptop?
It's too thick and heavy. It's
That's what she said.
it's a year old. It's like a big gaming one, and carrying it around every day is a pain in the ass.
It's too thick and heavy.
Yeah.
Yarg.
What's gonna happen?
He's gonna get knocked the fuck out.
What is
Ooh,
Ooh,
going
he
on with
missed.
that?
He was too low.
Something
that's a
happened.
foul.
there.
That's a foul too.
That
It
clubbing.
might be.
More clubbing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a 5-round slap too.
Whoa,
Somebody
whoa.
had to sit down and write rules for this.
the 5-round slap off.
Yeah.
That-
Look at
you
that.
guys, that would still hurt so bad.
So bad.
Man.
I hurt my jaw eating a sandwich the other day. Okay. That's not even a joke. It was sore for like 30 hours.
That's no joke. I stretched earlier today and I was fucked for like 2 hours just to the wrong stretch. And like yesterday, full routine, no problem. Today, just one stretch, like, you know what? That's kind of weird. Oh, what the fuck was that?
That's what it is to get old, friends.
Oh, this is bad. Ooh.
Oh no, it's a knockout.
Oh, he has time.
Is he gonna get up?
How? No.
He has 30 seconds.
They need to call that shit.
What are we 30?
Yeah.
Oh, he
yeah,
called
yeah,
it.
they
Okay,
called
yeah.
it.
Thank you, Keith Peterson.
That wasn't
Wow.
Keith Peterson.
That is not. Who is that?
He got his revenge. Jason Herzog?
Jason
Yeah, that was
Herzog.
Herzog.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
That guy is. If they had let him go back up there, I would have kept watching, but I would have said they shouldn't have let him go back up there. So is he the champion now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, congratulations, Rivero. He got
Damn.
his revenge. He was such a douchebag on the show.
Yeah,
this-
he wanted to. He was like a machismo kind of guy.
Yeah.
Do
the
they
guy
have
he-
Respected, and he
slap
just wanted to
nights?
fight people.
Like we get fight nights. Do they have slap nights? No.
I mean, that's a
No.
great idea,
they
but I
should.
think right now they're just on numbered slaps.
Yeah, man, that was a perfect slap.
Yeah,
He
the way
tried
his
to-
head. Yeah, he's
he
out.
tried to stop that neck muscle, that neck strength was not there. Oh shit. Oh,
Did his
What?
foot stay on the ground?
that's the question. If his foot moved too much and it's a foul, then it's a disqualification
It's
and
a
he
DQ.
loses.
Oh, that was the guy slapping.
yeah. If his
Yeah.
foot, there's like a certain
You're-
amount
Yeah.
that your foot can turn or twist before it's considered stepping. But I think his foot has to come off the ground. And
I'm
I
pretty
don't.
sure it does have to come off the ground for it to be considered stepping.
Yeah. Oh
Looks like they're
shit.
maybe telling him
Oh,
that.
they just
Yep.
so do
I
they do a
think-
replay?
Yeah, and the judges get to pick. There's also review judges. So like review judges get the say on whether there was stepping. Oh shit.
Stepping. The Pretty Neat Podcast episode, whatever. Stepping and clubbing.
Clubbing and stepping. Not
Yeah.
I flipped it because of club and sub. Our
Oh,
submarine sandwich full bar speakeasy. Members only.
stepping
Members
club.
only.
not the same as
So
Club
is he
and
out?
Son.
Oh, he's pissed.
Yeah, he gets DQ'd.
Damn.
Yeah, he's gonna get DQ'd, and he left the room. Holy shit.
He's probably not on steroids at all, right?
Dude, he was so much bigger on the show. Like, I don't know. Ah, man.
Do they actually give him a belt?
Mm-hmm. The last
Here's a belt and $87 after tax. And enjoy your night, you fucking loser. Like what even? The power side, I don't know.
I think it was Chris Weidman once was talking. Maybe I'm wrong here. I think he left his belt in his trunk or something. And for like days and just did. And then somebody like Dana White called him and asked him like, what'd you do with the belt? Blah blah blah. He said it was still in the car, and he's like, dude, it's real gold. Like the belt is like $18,000 worth of gold. And he didn't know it was real. Like Chris
That's
Weidman
awesome.
didn't know the belt was real until like Dana White was like, what the fuck is it in your trunk, you moron?
That's
Dude.
a good time.
Speaking of Chris Weidman, I watched on YouTube the an interview with Ray Longo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he talks about when he was like introduced to Weidman, and then him coming to the gym and not being able to spar because he didn't have a mouthpiece, and then he found a mouthpiece like on the ground. And because he's a fucking savage, right? He just picks it up and puts it in his goddamn mouth. And Longo's basically saying like this thing had been there. He said like you have the ring, it's a concrete floor when you don't have mats, and it was just there. And he said it had fuzz on it. And I mean, when he says fuzz, it's either like dirt or mold, I assume. And the guy put it in his mouth so that he could spar.
That's disgusting. That's so disgusting.
And
That's like making me
he
sick to
talks
think
about like, the champion fighters that he's coached. So Aljo, right? Of course, Weidman. And then he was the coach for Sarah when he knocked out GSP. Just like out of all three of those, that the Weidman one when he beat Silva, like he felt like that might be the most impressive one, because at the time people didn't realize GSP was GSP, right? And how great he was, and that Weidman, for knocking out Anderson Silva after what he had done to essentially everybody else, and just how impressive that was. It's a good interview. No free shout outs, but it's available on YouTube.
Did he talk about how they trained for that at all? Like, because
Yes.
I remember them talking about training, about overextending on his punches.
Yes,
And like,
that's where the punch a hole in his fucking chest comes from. And he said that's not a new thing. That's what he tells all of his fighters. When you're talking about head movement, is you change your target and you put your target in the middle of their chest, so that as you get a feel for where they are later rounds, you can move that target up to hit the head. It's very interesting. He's in his 60s, and just what he's done in mixed martial arts and just martial arts in general, like he was always in martial arts, but he was an accountant until like 1987, and then trained his first champion kickboxer right around that time, and then didn't start training Matt Serra until like 1993. That's like the inception of the UFC with Shoney Carter and fighters of like the original roster. It's a really good conversation, because imagine like he's from Long Island.
Is that on Room Service Diaries?
Yeah.
Or it is?
Yeah.
It's Room Service Diaries with Morning Combat Fellas.
Yes. it was
so
it was
good.
a great interview. And
Their
of
interview
course,
with
like,
Aaron Blanchfield was really great.
yes, that was really good. The one with John Anik was really good as well.
Yeah,
And
they just picked the
the one
minds.
with Rashad Evans, where Rashad Evans talks about where he does ayahuasca for the first time, like when it changed his entire like life perspective. He became a vegan
Yeah,
after that. Uh,
that's wild.
it that was, I mean, just
My buddy
the
Ken, my best man, he's on a wait list with through the VA to try some for his PTSD.
for ayahuasca,
Not ayahuasca, but one of the other
psilocybin.
hallucinogenics. Yeah, psilocybin.
They're doing psilocybin trials now, and they're doing
There's
it
a
with the military.
there's a massive billboard in downtown Austin. Like you can't miss it if you're driving through Austin. That's a veteran just announcing this needs to be legalized for testing, and like this is the treatment that works. But it's interesting stuff. They'll have to put it into UFC. Could you imagine a couple of fighters just totally tripping out on psilocybin fighting?
Well, I think there's plenty of UFC fighters that do
They're like
hallucinogenics
facing the
outside of
opposite direction and
outside
swinging at things only they can see.
outside
Yeah.
of training. But Tim Ferriss, if you don't know who Tim Ferriss is, he's really big into podcasting, and he's written quite a few books. He makes all of his money from that and investing. Has switched a lot of his focus into psilocybin trials and making it legal for clinical trials, I guess, before it becomes more of an FDA type thing, because there's a lot of positive evidence around the benefits of it.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in it. I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, I am too, especially because the universal kind of description of the experience from people who have done it in the controlled environments, especially those for the purposes of their mental health, have all kind of had comparable experience, similar symptoms, similar outcomes, and the negative side of it are still to be determined. But kind of like
I mean,
I'm a
everything
Jeffersonian
has
anarchist, do whatever the hell you want until it infringes on my right to do whatever the hell I want.
everything has like pros and cons.
Yeah, nothing's free.
Yeah, nothing's free.
Except freedom.
In other news, the LA City Council approved a robot police dog, so that's cool. Except that it's not. Did you guys see this story about the club pro golfer at the major the other day?
Yes.
That's pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty fucking cool.
So a club pro, Aaron, golf is a sport where there's a little ball and you use clubs to hit it. It's way fucking harder than it looks. A club pro is like the general manager of a golf course. They're typically called golf clubs. Some of them are private, some are public. Many have multiple courses. They manage marketing and host the tournaments and coordinate the lessons, and they are the head of a golf course. But that does not mean they're a pro golfer. So he's played in now 3 PGA Tour events. 2 PGA Tour events, and then the major, the PGA Championship this weekend. And he finished 15th. He took home he probably makes pretty good money. He actually is in Mission Viejo, not too far from us. He's the club pro at a course there. He probably makes a decent salary doing that job. But he made $288,000 in 4 days, and he hit a hole in one. And because he finished 15th, he gets to play in something else, the Canadian Open, I think, in like a week, or 2 weeks, which is very cool. Because
the Canadian Open or the US Open?
No, I think he's going to be in both. They're saying he's in the field. He has to finish 4th. Oh, if he finishes 4th this coming weekend, in a tie for 4th anyway, he could actually get temporary membership to the tour itself. And he has a sponsor exemption to play in the Canadian Open the 8th through the 11th, or the 6th through the 11th, or whatever days it is. But I think he is going to be in the U.S. Open because he finished 15th, right? Is that he qualifies that way?
Yeah, like he gets a automatic entry, right?
Yeah, because the four majors are not just PGA Tour events. That's why the Live Golf guys can play. My guy Brooks won Suck It PGA Tour, but it's a pretty cool story. 288 grand for 4 days of golf, and he hit a hole in one. Pretty sweet.
It's pretty epic.
Do we have another round of slaps?
Oh yeah, the heavyweight fight is about to come up.
More
All right,
slaps.
It does.
Live commentary the heavyweights, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, well they're gonna do their walkouts. While they do, Joaquin Buckley had an awesome knockout.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Should Edmund Shabazian's nickname be Eddie, not two Shabs?
I mean, what is it now?
I don't know.
Eddie shouldn't have trained with Rhonda.
Well, I mean, when he was training with Rhonda, when she was training pretty exclusively at that camp, he was the phenom. He was knocking people out.
That is true.
Right
He
off
was
here's the thing: is his strength is his first round finishing capability. His weakness is everything outside of the first round.
Yep. Yeah. He has a massive upper body for middleweight.
He does.
Like his legs are kind of like, that orange and toothpick sort of thing, where he probably has to spend a lot of energy just to hold himself up.
Neither of those guys
very
is
well
beating
could be.
Bo Nickel.
I do
No.
have to say though, divorced Dern is a monster.
Well, is she a
she's-
monster, or was Angela Overkill Hill just not on her game? Because what she's
That
good
too.
at, volume striking, like Mackenzie Dern just did.
Look
the
at his
Angela Hill.
boots.
He's got cowboy boots. Yeah, she wasn't on her game. She wasn't.
I feel like we haven't seen her look good in a long time.
Angela Hill?
That's the thing, is she was on a streak, wasn't she? Am I wrong?
I thought she had won her previous
Maybe-
two fights.
Maybe her last two or last three, maybe. But I think that she was. She
Okay.
beat Ducote
right.
and Lupi, and did she have another win before? Yeah, she beat John Janova.
No, she
John
lost to-
Janova. Oh yeah, John Janova
She-
beat her.
Also, we're not saying her name even remotely close. It's like Vina something.
I don't know why,
It's
but when I look at a
Yana
picture of her, I get dyslexia.
Jan Jaroba. Right. It's like
It's really bad.
Yeah,
it's almost like you're looking at it cross-eyed.
Got her.
Um,
Fuck you, Verna Yonderova.
but look at that, the Wolverine.
Yeah, it's
who is the
Wolverine
champion.
and Damian Dibble. Damian Dibble, by the way,
Got a
in
hell
my
of a
90s
haircut.
R&B band. He made it.
Definitely,
He made it.
Welcome.
But I think Angela also did not look as good as she usually does, because Dern just looked so good.
Mackenzie
Yeah.
Dern's on the list, guys.
I think it's both. I've gone back and forth on this. I'm not sure if she is on the list.
Okay.
Dern, she's not for me.
Have you seen her Instagram?
Yes.
It's a happy place.
So she's back on the market. That's for sure.
Yeah, but
She's not shy.
no, you kind of have to not be if you're in her position. Anyway, yeah, fun fights. No, none this weekend. Then we have what's the next one? Kai Kara France fight night. That'll be a fun one. And then we get UFC 289 or 290. We had 290? 289.
290. 289?
I'm all lost up. I think it's 289. Yeah, because Kai Kara France versus Almir Albazi. 289 is Nunes Aldana, but let's be honest about who the real headliner is there. Oliver Dariush.
That's a great fight.
Geez, Vittori versus Cannonier at the Apex would be
That
a
would be a good one
great.
to buy tickets to.
That
Yeah.
would be the one to buy tickets to.
Mhm.
I mean, is it just me, or does it feel like they've already fought?
They haven't yet. Surprisingly. I mean,
it feels like it to me,
It does.
but they haven't. So to that point, give me Vittori.
Yeah, I think
Dude, they're feeding Josh Emmett to the meat grinder.
I
I like that fight.
for
Tapuria?
who?
I like
Yeah.
for the fans. For the
Yeah, okay.
fans,
Yeah.
Josh
Dude.
Emmett, Ilya Tapuria is a treat.
Yeah, so in his last fight, Josh Emmett was fighting for an interim title.
Wild.
I know. And now he gets to fight fucking Ilya Tapuria.
Tulilin's back, Jake Allen's, Brandon Allen's back. Who else is there's some good Saryukian and Silva? There's
a couple of
290 fight week, July 8th, guys. Oh my gosh.
I'm a little underwhelmed.
290?
This is supposed to be the big card, and I don't think it's going to end up being. All right, here we go. Round 1.
You got your boy though.
Dibble.
So Dibble, right? Oh wow, look at that. Oh my goodness. 2 steps back. You got to keep your hands behind your back, which just seems like God, life is tough to be a power slapper, right?
These boots were made for stumbling.
Is he allowed to wear the boots in competition?
Apparently he is. He is wearing them.
So if you recall, this gentleman with the beard, the Wolverine, right?
No.
Was a coach.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He was a coach in the inaugural season that debuted on TNT.
Which was basically TBS? Last week, let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not like last year. This was earlier this year.
Yeah, it was only a few months ago.
If he's a heavyweight, like, is he just exceptionally tall? Because he does not appear to be.
The other guy's only like 6'2". Oh, he clubbed him.
He's like giving him the stink eye.
Yeah, that was a stink eye. That was the stinkiest of stink eyes.
That was a club.
This fight night on July 22nd.
Oh, flinch. They called a flinch on Dibble. That's a flinch foul.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He moved his
he
head.
Did. Yep.
That's why he ended up hitting him on the neck.
That
Does
means
he get to slap him again?
Dom,
he gets to
when
slap
flinch,
again.
He gets to slap him again.
Holy shit.
Like, he hit him. Now he gets to hit him again.
That's like the worst foul, in my opinion, is that flinch.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, though. That's human nature, right?
Yeah. You got to close your eyes.
Yeah, you see this guy, but also, if you're trying to be strategic, don't you want to clench?
Yeah, they do.
He announces, I'm going to hit on 3. And on the third one, you want to clench up. That's where that neck strength comes into play.
Yeah, that's why they show you those metrics.
That is exactly why they show you those metrics.
But like this guy, like right here, Wolverine leaning forward like that, bad idea. His chin is up a little too high. Oh, this is bad. He's going to sleep.
Yeah, don't you want to tuck?
Oh, he missed. He hit him too high. He hit him up here. You got to hit down here and twerk the neck, man.
They walk back there and powder their hands, and they're like, fuck. Like, there's no way this isn't just miserable.
Yeah, right. Their whole
face. You see some of those slappers where they're hitting them so hard they get some type of like hematoma on their cheek, right?
Yeah, the first fight of the night.
Blood is pooling up into their cheek in some form of hematoma.
And I stub my toe and roll around on the ground for 45 minutes.
You're like, oh my God, it's the worst pain. It's the worst pain.
Nothing will ever be this bad.
Yeah. I get Band-Aids out for when I nick myself shaving.
Dang.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, this guy is taking it.
Yeah. Dibble is a threat.
Dibble is
it's like we're watching two big guys slap each other or fuck each other. If you couldn't see it, you wouldn't know.
If you're not watching along, they are slapping each other, not doing anything else. So when I say that he's taking it, taking it very well, I'm talking about slaps.
His chin's up too high.
Oh, he missed. Everyone listens
He
for the
clubbed him.
UFC and sports and pretty neat commentary, but for an alternative listening experience, watch some gay porn while you're listening.
Like Pink
Oh,
Floyd
man.
with
Dude.
fucking
Right to the
Wizard
it's
of
like
Oz.
Look
yeah,
at
it's
that.
like
Look at the Wolverine stumbled getting back to the chalk. Look, they're
you
gonna check him
would
out.
too if you took a slap to the face like that.
They're gonna check him out.
It's like if you
He
play the Pretty Neat
stumbled.
podcast backward, it perfectly syncs up to every gay porn there's been.
I mean,
You don't know until you try it.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Apparently,
I think Wolverine's in trouble.
I do too,
He
especially
just
with
like
5
he gave the
rounds.
thumbs up, but then as he walked back to the chalk station, he definitely took a stumble.
There's no
Yeah.
way this isn't worse for you than just fighting.
This has to be worse. This has to be worse. This is just give me a concussion. Let's see who can. When Justin Gaethje says, "Let's find out whose bones are harder." This is just let's find out who has less lube in their brain. Like
Wolverine's not getting a lot on him, I don't think.
he's not.
No,
Yeah.
no, and that goes to my original point. I don't know if the Wolverine is really a heavyweight.
I don't think
They're
so.
not even letting him sit down. In the UFC, you get to sit down in between rounds.
Oh, they get 30 seconds tops, and you just walk back and you're chalking your goddamn hand.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Look
See,
how
like,
red the
we-
outside of his hand is. What the fuck?
This is like I think about if we were in my crappy universe that I invented where like somebody was so where somebody didn't want to fight all the way, so they're like, no, you guys can't use your kicks, no legs, then they go to boxing, and then you get one deeper level of pussy, and it's like, no, okay, you can't move and you can't block.
I can't
That's
decide
how slap
if
comes up.
yeah, I can't decide if these guys are like
Are they tough or are they just
way tougher than everyone else, or just like it was either this or prison. Like what are there? You have no other, like you can't just get a job in an Amazon warehouse or something. They have health benefits.
Yeah, he actually was a very lucrative, well-paid copywriter who was replaced by AI. So this was his choice. He did 40 years of animation school, and somebody took his job in 5 minutes.
And Doll E put him out of work in 9 seconds.
Yep.
So Wolverine's still going. He didn't get knocked out.
They gave him a standing 8.
Oh, good lord!
He's not
no.
out.
No, it's they went to
It's
a
the last
decision.
round.
So he won
Dibble's gonna
one
win.
round, and the last round was a 10-8 because of the knockdown. And now Dibble is the new champ.
There you go.
Wow.
So the light heavyweight belt stayed because of a disqualification on stepping. Well, that guy too, he got disqualified for stepping on the show, if I recall correctly, but he also got knocked out. Anyway, July 22nd, O2 Arena fight night. Come on, Tom Aspinall's coming back.
Yeah, Tom Aspinall,
That's dope.
I'm excited to see him come back. Hopefully he hasn't lost any of his athleticism. I definitely think even without it, he'd beat Marcin Tybura. But he's the dark horse right now in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, he is.
Given the fact that John Jones says he's not going to fight after Stipe. So it's wide open again.
Yep. Fellas, always a pleasure. I should get running. 2024 is getting here real fast. And Olympics are coming that year. What's funny is my mom, when she was in college, did archery, and she tried out before that, I believe, for the Olympics, and did not get far. But it would have been funny if she became an Olympic archer and was named hand worker.
You know who
That'd
else
be cool.
of note tried out and may have made the American Olympic archery team? Someone who isn't their main profession of being an archer. Gina Davis.
Wow.
There's your fun fact.
Yeah, from like
I like her.
Beetlejuice.
I know her as Gina Davis.
Gina?
Don't they call her Gina in Knocked Up or the 40 version or whatever?
And Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. 2020.
He's like, you know who I liked? Gina.
Gina. We'll always have Thelma and Louise.
We'll always have Thelma and Louise 2024.
Hey, you know why I love MMA so much? It's pretty neat. That is 100% true, but it's also because it brings us together. You know what? Violence really does bring people together.